all three VIPs to cut the ribbons.
Saranam gacchami dhammam saranam gacchami sangham saranam gacchami
Jayanti bhasha dharma sanskriti sandeshara Bhagyagami rashtra bandhu jaya jaya Nepal. Jayanti, who is for our kind information, everybody, the Nepal-Canada Parliamentary Friendship Chair. Thank you so much for your time, your manage here. Thank you. And His Excellency is the Ambassador Ali Prasad Pokhrelju and Mrs. Pokhrelju. Thank you so much for coming here. Dr. Kunja Sharma, Honorary Consul General of Nepal, very good patron of our community. MPP Toby Burnett, thank you so much, sir, for coming here and joining with us in the march from Young Dandas Square all the way to down here. Dr. Benti Sarapala, he is actually very, very perfect person of the Buddhism. Just a very short video, as my friend Sanjeev Rizal mentioned that we started doing this type of event since 2007. It's almost 10 years. From the heart of Toronto, Young Dundas Square, we go to the march. So every time we get a big support from the Toronto police, they stop the whole traffic, they give us a time, and then never we had that type of, even the red light, you are allowed to cross the street. So which is a great part. And this is 2007, we were similarly what we did today. And this is the same thing we were in 2007 as well. This thesis was saying Buddha was born in Nepal because there are a lot of confusion regarding the birthplace of Buddha. Many times, many scholars, sometimes they knowingly or unknowingly, they do not clearly figure out where Buddha was born. They say Lumbini, but the Lumbini means, Lumbini is a part of Nepal, is the main tourist attraction. That's the UNESCO heritage, one of the biggest the sites of the UNESCO. And this is in Nepal. So that is the main goal why we are celebrating this event is one of the spiritual aspects. In this world there are so many major religions, the Islam and the Christianity and the Hinduism and so many. And the Makkah, Medina and Jerusalem and Pashupatinath and Banaras, and there are so many places people just want to visit, and we want to the Western world especially to visit to Lumbini as well. So if you are real Buddhist, then of course in your lifetime it is saying that you have to visit there. So that could be one of the reasons there. And of course we want to tell to our guests that Nepal is one of the best places to visit. So that is another reason for doing this type of event. You might have seen, every year we change that. Every year we have been changing this. Every year, this means this year, this logo is naturally Nepal, because Nepal wants to have kind of very similar type of logo and promotion. So Nepal said natural, you don't have to put any makeup, you are naturally beautiful.
I started finding the 5 yogis who had left him because Buddha had left them and started eating good food, and they thought he was in luxury and out of the spiritual world. So he went and started looking, finding these 5 yogis, and then he finally found them and told them that he had found the truth, he had found enlightenment. But these guys, they did not believe because he had resorted to luxury by eating good food and away from the rigorous sacrifices. But because, again, as Buddha said, impermanence, everything changes and nothing to worry about. Anything that rises has an end. So I think we're doing well over here. And one more thing, in 2015 we could not celebrate the peace procession because of the earthquake in Nepal. So that, I just wanted to highlight on this.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Sid Aikida.
I love to walk and run, but I got a hip operation, and today I had to go to church, and I went to the Buddhist church, by the way, and I didn't have, I really wanted to walk, but I didn't know what was the, counselor, you never know how he just invites you to come. Well, I love to come to religious, especially for Buddhism, because I am a Buddhist. I want you to know that Buddhism in Canada, Japanese were the first to have Buddhists come to Canada. The Japanese people came to Canada in 1877, and they were invited by the Canadian government only because of the good relationship between the British, the Royal Palace and the Imperial Palace, and they welcomed the Japanese people to come. And before the Japanese people came to Canada, 1858, Chinese people were the first to here to build the roadways.
Of East and West. People create distinction out of their own and minds and then believe them to be true.
And I would like to very much welcome and thank you all the guests for participating in this program. एक अर्काको कोअपरेसनको लागि यो बुद्ध जयन्ती निकै सकारात्मक हुनुपर्छ भन्ने मेरो मान्यता हो र बुद्ध जयन्तीबाट आज हामीले अपेक्षा गरेको के हो त भन्दाखेरि एउटा कुरा त बुद्ध नेपालमा जन्मेका हुन् भन्ने कुरा एउटा चाहिँ विदेशी कम्युनिटीलाई पनि हामीले अलिकति परिचित गराउनुपर्छ भन्ने एउटा भावना हो। त्यसो त्यो हुनुपर्छ र यो हल भरिनुपर्छ र सबैले यसलाई सहयोग पनि गर्नुपर्छ। कन्सर्न नेपालले गरोस् अथवा अरू कुनै संस्थाले गरोस्, हामी नेपाली अर्गनाइजेसन हो र त्यसलाई चाहिँ हामीले सबैले सहयोग गर्नुपर्छ सकेसम्म।
Chinese from India. So my colleagues from the CMC, they have said quite a few words. And for me, I'm very happy to be here to share in your activities and to show support to you. So,
How a person can be relevant over 2,500 years. That's Buddha, right? And the relevance of Buddha even today is astounding. So no wonder the Nepalese community celebrates his Jayanti, his birth celebration, and because he was born over there. But even if you came from a different community and Buddha was not born there, Buddha's presence is felt by the people.
I know very little about Buddhism, although I have traveled in 60 countries and I have been exposed to Buddhism. I mentioned earlier, my wife is a psychiatric social worker trained in Chicago. And as she packed my lunch this morning, she tried to explain to me a little bit about Buddhism and the importance of Buddhism. And again, I am just astounded when I see a number like 2,561 years as we celebrate the birth of Lord Buddha.
And I was willingly to do it. The reason behind is I'm also a follower of Lord Buddha. I practice his teachings, and the teachings of Buddha are, from a philosophical perspective, he's not only he's a spiritual leader and also a radical thinker and also a philosopher. And that's why I call Buddhism a science of mind. It's basically a very different way to practice and achieve enlightenment, but through rigorous practice. The rationale behind celebrating this event is to promote Lumbini, which is in Nepal, because Buddha was born in Nepal.
We practice Buddhism. So this is the essence. That's how the prince from Kapilvastu, Lumbini, who renounced all his material wealth and comfort and embarked upon a journey of perfect happiness and enlightenment. Nepal is a cradle for both. People live side by side in peace, harmony, and goodwill to each other, and no known history of any religious strife or conflict among the population, people of all faiths. And it's a secular country now, after the promulgation of the new constitution in 2015. So all people of all faiths living side by side together, celebrating their faiths in complete freedom.
Also, we will talk about the teachings of Buddha over here. I'm sure Dr. Sarnapala is here, who will guide us through many of the technical terms of Buddhism, like mindfulness, insight, concentration, the three aspects that are mostly used in cognitive behavior therapy in Harvard School of Business and many other schools, and medically to treat anxiety and depression.
We gather together today. I wish to salute your community's active effort to foster the constructive dialogue among leaders from various civil societies and religious groups in Canada and around the world in order to encourage greater peace, tolerance, mutual understanding and respect among all people.
The peace procession, the hats, and everything that was focusing on the outside. But the teachings of Buddha actually teach us to focus our energy on the inside. And that's why I would like to invite Dr. Bhante Saranpala to talk about Buddhism, philosophy, and the deep knowledge that he has in terms of impermanence, non-self, emptiness, non-duality, suffering, dukkha, and direct investigation. And I would really like to learn from him too, Dr.
Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato. I'm so happy to come here today to spend a few hours with our Nepali friends. And of course, you want me to talk about the Buddhist doctrine and philosophy and the topics that he suggested. You know, these topics required hours and hours. And in fact, I teach a summer course on these topics. Like each topic requires at least 2 hours. So we don't have that much time, but I would like to touch upon the essence of the Buddha's teaching relevant to today's crisis or whatever we are experiencing now. And in that monastery, as the monastery had a group of Bengali novice monks, it also had a group of novice monks from Nepal. And so we, one of them is actually, he has been an MP for some time, Ananda Bhante Ananda. He's one of our colleagues. And also, in our monastic college, we had a tough competition between me and the one Nepali monk, Bhante Sankicha and me. Both of us would get 100 out of 100. So both of us got double promotions twice. And so that means, I had the privilege of finishing my first degree at the age of 17 because of double promotions. Now, I came here in 1994, then that monk who was competing with me, actually he was such a wonderful, ideal monk. I respect him so much. He's so serene and calm, tall, and as you said, natural in Nepal, he's naturally a handsome Buddhist monk.
Wow.
And very calm, very happy, very peaceful. His name is Bhante Sankicha. He has been featured in Sri Lankan national calendars as the young monk who is looking very calm and serene. And now he is the professor of Sanskrit at the #1 university in Sri Lanka. I talked to one of my meditation teachers whom I respect very much, and he meditated those days. I have witnessed that. Out of 24 hours, he would meditate 22 hours. He was such an ardent meditation practitioner who was very kind, compassionate, loving, who cared for us so much. So I went to him, said, "Venerable Sir, I'm getting this kind of thoughts. I don't think I'm being a good novice monk." And so because I started feeling guilty about having some mundane thoughts. And then he said, "Oh, Saranapala, don't worry. It's okay. You're not enlightened yet. As enlightened monks, of course, we all get such thoughts. That's why you need to meditate more." So he taught me some meditation techniques. And so I was okay. At least I found some comfort in his counseling. And I focused on studies. Then I came here with the invitation of our abbot of our temple in Mississauga. And then I started going to the University of Toronto. I had my B honors in religious studies, Western philosophy, and also psychology. And then I did my master's degree in religious studies at the McMaster University. And then I also did my PhD at U of T in religious studies. So I was qualified for a tenure position, and in fact, they want me to come back. But time to time, I go and do some guest lectures. Now I said no to that job for a couple of reasons. First of all, I have realized, after teaching meditation and Dharma to people in this country for past 22 years, here in Canada, also in the States, and also time to time in Europe. I do a Euro teaching tour every summer. So after getting involved in the teaching, because he said, what Buddha did was, he said, here's the problem of the existence. I see this because I practice meditation. This problem had been there for years of a lifetime. And even today is the same. And he said, this problem is called dukkha. Dukkha means, it's come from two words, duk and ka. Do in Pali and Sanskrit means difficult. That's upasarga, the prefix. And ka means to do or bear or handle. So dukkha simply means something difficult to handle, something difficult to do. Yam pichang na labati tampi dukkhan. Not getting what you want is suffering. Is so difficult to handle in life. Now you relate this to yourself. What's your wish? What do you want? Well, if you don't get what you want, that makes you miserable. So craving, the desire, wanting more, is the heat. Because the Buddha realized, uno loco atito tanha daso. Uno loco, you people always feel incomplete. Although you have everything, although you're millionaire, you still feel incomplete.
So this is a practice. Buddhism is a practice. It's not a religion. Of course, we have the cultural side and the religious side of it, but mostly, as he mentioned, it is a practice, daily practice, rigorous practice.
I think that is the practice, right? And innerly, it's very difficult to, like how we are very normal people, but we need to try our best. The mindfulness is really good, it works. I'm one of the followers of Vipassana, so sometimes I do that when I have a lot of stress and I go for the meditation. I don't go for 24 hours, maybe probably half an hour, so it's difficult. So let me go to the wrap of today's the event. We had two extra other activities, which is one was volleyball competitions. That we couldn't happen. We couldn't do that this time. We promised that we're going to do it. The other one is origin young kids, young.
Guys,
Sang